3, 2, 1. Good day, everybody. My name is Carlos. I'm your co-host for My Life Without Limits. And today I get to have, as always, my other co-host, the co-host of this show, the brain of this show, the producer of this show, well, the producer in the background of this show, the way I usually call it, the smartest one of the two of us. Aaliyah Eisen, how are you doing?
Doing very good today, thank you. Very good. At home today. It's spring break this week.
Yeah, you
that
abandoned
we're
me.
recording. So I am home with my preteen. So hopefully you won't hear giggles in the background, but
And if there's
if you
noises,
do, it's just her.
and if there's noises in the background, we know it's your daughter. So as long as she's watching something interested, that's always
Yeah,
good.
she's playing a game on her phone. She's all good.
That's awesome. Otherwise, you're doing good.
Yeah, everything is great. How are you?
Nice. Things are good. I mean, busy but good. Things
Yeah.
are good.
Good.
Office is good. Very, very nice. Very nice outside.
Yes.
And so it's
Spring is
kind
in
of
the
nice.
air.
It's kind of nice. So very
Awesome.
exciting. We have a great guest that you had the opportunity to see on a wonderful event that happened.
Yes.
Put on by, was it by CBC? I think it was put on
Yeah.
by CBC. So I was supposed to go with you on that event, and the guest that we have, I actually know him since forever.
Yeah.
Because he used to work for our organization too, and we actually, just as an insight, we used to get in trouble a little bit when he used to work.
We're gonna need to get into that.
Keep it into the down low, right? Keep it in the down low. We used to get in trouble a little bit, but not much in trouble. He's a fantastic and phenomenal guy. But since you met him in this particular wonderful event that we will be touching on, you're more than welcome, Leah, to introduce him, because I heard you and him had a great conversation when you met him that particular day. So I'll let you introduce him. So.
Sounds great. Yes, I guess my new friend Aleem and your old friend Aleem is here. And yeah, I was lucky enough to meet him at the pre-screening of the CBC show Push. And I didn't realize, I think maybe, like, I don't remember. I might have met you like years ago when I first started working. I couldn't remember. But then our friend Michelle, who's going to be on the podcast another time with us, you guys will meet. She had mentioned that Aleem had worked with our organization. So I had to go straight over and meet him. And I met you and your wonderful husband. And I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome, Aleem.
Thank you so much. And my it's honor is mine. I love that you have this podcast, and I'm really happy to be on it. So thank you for inviting me.
Well, just glad to have you here, especially now that we know that there's some stories. Maybe we can you and Carlos.
No, thank you, Aleem, for coming. Thank you for taking the time to come into the podcast, because I know you're a busy person, not only with the CBC push that we're going to be talking about a little, but also in your personal life and your professional life. You're a very busy man, and now with
good to make time for us, for old friends.
Exactly, and I haven't get a chance to meet your husband yet, but I know he's a fantastic man from what I was able to talk to you about once. But I think the last time I spoke to you, just to give a little bit of a background to our audience, was like probably 2 or 3 months ago. We were just getting out of COVID. I gave you a call, and I think I couldn't reach you, and you give me a call back, because we do have each other's phone number. So for those of you guys who know this, I'm friends with a celebrity now, so that's that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
That's so good. No, we like I said before, Carlos, we've been friends for a long time, and I value your friendship quite a bit. So I would definitely do this podcast, and thank you for reaching out to me, and this means a lot to me, because it seems like a very good platform to talk about issues that you guys talk about.
Yes.
So
yes, and at the event you had a lot to say, and I was like, give him the stage. You needed the whole night to do just everything.
Oh my
you were
God,
saying.
it's probably
I was like, I love it.
To be honest, I was quite nervous that day.
Were you?
Yeah, I was, and I was kind of wondering, should I speak? Should I not speak? Because I get nerves and I get balls of nerves, and I said, no, today I'm gonna make an effort to speak with my friends, because these are all friends that I'm with, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I felt very comfortable and very supported, and I said, no, I want to speak and kind of talk about disabilities and accessibility, and it was something that really I'm passionate about. So
Yeah. Well, it is great. And what a great group, like everybody there.
I'm very fortunate. I'm very
Wow.
fortunate to be with such a good group. Very supportive group as well. So
Right. Yes, that's what it seems like.
Aleem, before you, Leah, you had a question for Aleem?
No, not at all. No, you go ahead.
Aleem, before we go into the group of friends that you have with this particular event from CBC,
yeah.
could you tell our audience who are you a little bit, to talk a little bit about you, a little bit about your background,
Okay.
what were you born with, how is it living with your personal life right now, with not too much into details of what you don't want to share, but more into how's it living where you are right now, what stage of your life it is right now, and then afterwards we can move on into talking
Yeah.
Sure.
about a
And
little
if I
bit.
go on forever, Carlos, just cut me off. Because...
Absolutely.
We'll just make an Aleem series on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh my God. I feel sorry for you guys already. Okay, so so basically I have cerebral palsy. I was born with it. I was born premature. I was born in Toronto, and for the younger portions of my life, I went to, I started off going to a special school that specialized in therapy and physio and occupational therapy, and also for, I don't know what they call it, for the therapy for hands and fingers and things like that. There's a name for it. I can't remember right now. But I did that for a bit, and then I went into regular school in Edmonton. So we moved from Toronto to Edmonton because we had family here, and then I went to regular school system, and then over time I got my degrees in first I graduated from NAIT in Business Administration Finance, and then I kind of did a couple of years of finance and accounting, and I thought, it's not really for me. I want to go where I can deal with people a lot more. So I ended up taking a course in from University of Lethbridge. I got a degree in Human Resources and Labor Relations, Bachelor of Management, graduating from distinction. And then I kind of was looking for more employment and in doing odds and ends. And then I finally ran into a place where I work, which is employabilities. And I currently am a job developer there, and I've been working there for more than about 9 years, close to 10 years now.
Awesome.
So and I guess what else do you need to know, Carlos? Does that cover it?
That does cover
No, there's so much more.
the summary of it. It does cover it, but it's way there's a lot more. Before you went to work with employabilities, which is an absolutely amazing organization. I had the opportunity to work with a couple of people there before I found this job, and they were able to help me find this amazing opportunity in this job. You also work for our organization for a little bit on our call center, and that's how we crossed paths, and that's how we met each other. For those of you who don't remember, we used to have a call center for about 20 to 25 people at that point in time, and the majority of people, I think 80%, 70 to 80% was individuals with disabilities in our call center. Right now it's a little bit reduced, but at the time it was 20 to I think it was like 20 to 25 people. And Aleem and I were telephone reps. I was hired. I believe you were. I believe you were hired before me, or
no, after.
After, you're right. After, you're right.
So you were there, and then I showed up, and we had good times. We would joke around in between calls. We had only 30 seconds to joke around in between, but we managed because we were on auto dialers.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and it was really, really cool. I really look forward to working with all these colleagues that I had, especially Carlos and I, because we'd be sitting right next to each other.
We were
And
sitting right next to each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
and in between our calls, we would share information about some of the calls that we have, or some of our background insights that we would find out and help each other out. So it's quite neat.
Yeah, and I think I was able to help you train a little bit and help each other out at the time because I had a little bit more. You're right, I had a little bit of more months going on, so
Yeah.
we developed a really good friendship. And then after that, you moved on to new careers, a new path of life. And yeah, the next time that I found you, you were telling me that you were a job developer at
Yeah.
Employabilities, which it's a really good position because
Mhm.
for me, for example, to get this job, I had to meet with a job developer, which it was not Aleem, it was a different job
Yeah, it
developer.
was a different guy, a
But
different person.
for those people who do not know more or less like the ins and out what a job developer is, could you explain a little bit about what your position is? Not all the details, but kind of.
Well, there's probably everybody has a different definition of a job developer, but my definition is basically a broker. I'm
Okay.
a broker between clients and employers.
Okay.
And basically my job is to connect with employers to make sure that I can create opportunities for clients that we serve. And make sure that I maintain those relationships and make sure that I establish new ones on an ongoing basis. And then also um, support the clients along the way as well in their job while they're in their job. So making sure that
Mhm.
if they have any questions, if anything comes up, how can we support them better?
Mhm.
And also in terms of the employer side, if the employer has any questions, they know they can come to me, or if they have anything that comes up with the person that we're getting employed, how we can support them. So
Mhm.
I'm one of there's I work on a team.
Mhm.
So there's one of four that I am part of right now. So yeah, I definitely enjoy doing that, and my HR background and my personal experience really, really help and I think add value to this role that I'm in right now. Very
That's
happy
awesome.
to be in it though. So.
And the organization you work for as a job developer only helps persons with disabilities, visible disabilities and invisible disabilities, or do they help
All disabilities,
all disabilities?
any
Okay.
barriers that you have to employment, we're
Uh,
there to support.
okay. But
So yeah.
you do need to have, sorry for interrupting, but do you need to have proof that you have disability or all abilities or not?
Not that I'm aware. I don't think
Not
we
that
need
you're
proof. I think we take your word for it, kind of thing.
okay, because the reason I asked, maybe will be some people that will be listening to this episode and it will be like, oh, maybe I want to approach somebody like Employabilities to look for places to get a job and stuff
Well,
like that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. In that case, what I would recommend is first of all go to the website
Mhm.
if you can, if you're able.
uh
And then because we have multiple programs in employability, so each program has different criterias.
okay,
Most of them will not require documentation. Maybe you'll need some documentation through the process.
hmm
Mhm.
So it just depends on the program and what you're looking for. So go to the website, check it out, and then kind of go for an intake and then go from there. So
oh,
yeah,
perfect.
that would be a good opportunity for sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that because
Yeah, no
I
worries.
forgot the steps when I went. I The only thing I remember is I had to do with my job developer, I had to do a resume, and then I had to do I actually took a financial literacy course, which I actually found very, very useful,
Okay, good
level
deal.
one, level one and level two. And
Mhm.
thankfully that I didn't even have to pay for that course at the time. So I think it was nice because I only had, for those of you who don't know, I was an immigrant at the time, so I had only a work permit all the time, and so I was not I didn't have I wouldn't say legal status because with work permit you still have a legal status,
Mhm.
but you're not a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen at that time yet. And right now, I am a Canadian citizen, as you all already are aware, because I think I mentioned it. I mentioned it beforehand. So
Oh, we had so many fun times when you were at the call center, always bugging Carlos because he wasn't a Canadian. So
Yeah.
we'd always make sure I reminded him that he wasn't, and how he had special contacts in Mexico, and
Yeah.
how yeah, but those were fun times.
there were
Anyway.
fun times. I was called. I was being called an illegal immigrant once upon a time, just as a joke,
Illegal,
As a
It's-
joke, yeah.
yeah.
just as a joke, But how do you feel now, Aleem, that I'm a Canadian citizen? Say though.
Well, I am very happy that you're now official.
Yes, now
'Cause
official.
now we won't get into any more trouble, and I won't worry about your gangs if you have any gangs, because now you're Canadian.
That's right.
No, I don't have any guys.
No, I'm just kidding.
Jokingly,
kidding.
we joke around. As you can see, we
Well, I'm
joke
sorry I
around.
missed out on that.
Uh,
'Cause when you
yeah.
were talking about your current job, I think because I started with the association in 2013, but it was in Calgary, and then I had moved to Edmonton, and I might have just in passing missed you somewhere in the office, but I feel like I did
You may
at
have.
one point.
We may have. Yeah.
I think
who
you guys did cross paths, but maybe you guys forgot about,
knows?
because I think Aleem was still there, and just at the beginning, 2013, and then he
Yeah.
moved
Yeah,
on
I left
to
right in 2013. I think,
Yeah.
around
Yeah, so there you
go.
Yeah.
two ships passing in the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here we are, 10 years
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we
So
are.
yeah, basically, if anybody's interested, go to the website.
Yeah.
And then once you're interested, just call Employabilities. They'll do an intake and they'll connect you to the right program and what's the right fit. Kind of, they'll discuss with you and go from there. So I would
They do like
definitely
a little
recommend you.
they do like a little screening process, right? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a
It's
little
like
bit
a
of screening
Great.
process.
screening
Because we have,
process.
like I said, we have multiple programs, so we want to make sure you're in the right program
Mhm.
and that you're supported in the right way. So
Yeah, no, great organization for sure.
thank you.
Yeah, it is a great organization. I'm very, very happy that you're working there, and you're very happy working there, Aleem. And I know
Absolutely
you.
a gem to work there. Yes, they've been
Yeah.
really. They actually not only look after their people that they look for employment, but they look after their staff quite a bit,
Stuff.
and they're
Awesome.
really good as an employer as well. I've been
that's
very fortunate to be with them. They always want me to grow and excel. And so yeah, I would recommend Employabilities to anyone that is looking for work. To see what services they can offer and go from there.
Well,
Absolutely.
what a great fortuity that you have working.
Now,
working
Carlos,
for
what
them.
word is that? Fortuity. I don't even know
Yeah,
what
I don't
that
know what that
means.
is either.
What is that, man?
Fortunity. Sorry, fortunity. Being fortunate. Being
Oh,
fortunate.
being fortunate.
Being fortunate. Sorry.
Oh, I love
sorry.
it. I love
Sorry.
it.
Sorry. Sorry. That's what I meant to say. I apologize for that. But
okay.
thanks for
Okay,
the correction.
Carlos.
The next part of it, I mean, Leah would like to ask a question later on about her favorite topic is about love, and it's about relationships, and it's about
Oh, come on, Carlos. You like hearing about those things too.
I like hearing
He
about those
does.
things too. To be honest, I
Come
do,
on.
and I do love hearing about those
You
things.
have to
too.
listen to the episode that just
Yeah.
came out today. We talked about
yeah.
disability and sexuality.
That's
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a good
yeah, yeah.
one.
That's a good one.
It's a good one too.
'Cause people with disabilities never have sex, and we never have
That's right.
relationships.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
Right?
we talked
We're
about
just
how.
we're just cute and cuddly
Yeah,
Just kidding,
and
Carlos.
adorable.
Yeah.
So,
Right, Carlos?
Yeah.
we sure are adorable and cute.
Okay. I like the adorable part. I'll keep that part.
But can you tell us a little bit about how does it how did your role and your way to meeting the great people you met at for this show of CBC and then
Oh, the Wheelie
after that,
Peeps.
yeah, all the great peeps, the Wheelie Peeps that I
The
think
Wheelie Peeps.
the Wheelie Peeps. I think
Yeah,
all of
you
you
don't
guys
count, Carlos, because you're not a wheelie.
I know,
He's
like
not.
You got
now,
crutches. You have
now,
crutches, so we don't count people that use crutches, eh?
now I kind of want to get like at least roller skates
Yeah,
or
at least
something.
at least get a rental
The very
wheelchair so
least.
we can call you a wheelie keep or something, you know?
so if you can talk to us a little bit about how was your way, if you want to talk to us about maybe if your now partner was important in that particular role, or if you want to
Yeah.
wait on it.
As the media calls him my new husband. So he was joking with me. He's like, "Did you have any former husbands that I don't know?"
Oh, right. Yeah, true.
So I was like, no, he's my new and only husband.
New and only. Yeah.
So,
That's funny.
so yeah, it's funny how media will say some things that you're like, whoa, what? So yeah, it's pretty cool. So
I love it.
so how I met how I got into this is completely fluke, very much a fluke. It was through my friendship association with Bean. You
Mhm.
guys all know about Bean now, I'm
Yes.
hoping,
Know
and
and love. Yes.
she's awesome. Like I love her to death. You know, she's
Yeah.
a great human being, and we met through a networking event.
Mm.
You know, I was at a job fair collecting information and you know, manning a booth for employabilities, and she was there as well. And since then, we kind of connected. We, you know, talked over the years, and then she reached out to me and she said, "Hey, Aleem, you know, we're doing this thing. I'm putting your name forward. I think you'd be great for it." And I was kind of like, at first, I didn't know what to expect. You know,
Mhm.
we're all really new at this. We don't really know what we're doing at the time because, you know, we've never done anything like this. Or I'm only speaking for myself now because I don't know if people have or not, but I've never done anything like this before. So I was a little bit scared, a little bit nervous, and a little bit excited. And so when she did offer it, I said, "Yeah, let's see what happens." You know, I didn't think much of it. We did the demo tape, and you know, and then we forgot about it. You know, Nick and I just kind of went on our day-to-day thing. We didn't hear anything for the 6 months. They did say, oh, they would like to be part of the wedding if they were going to do it. So we said okay, and then, you know, we didn't hear anything, so we just
Yeah.
did our thing. We got married. Nick and I got married, and you know, and then 6 months later, they said they had chosen us as one of the cast members. So it was really, really cool. And so through Bean, I had met some of these people before that we call the Wheelie Peeps, and you know, we meet in events that Bean had organized. Like, you know, she does a lot of she did some barbecues, she did some events, she did some fundraising for her reuse center.
Yeah.
So we kind of met in passing, but we hadn't really connected until the show happened. Now we're basically inseparable, all of us.
Yeah.
We are very, very happy to have kind of known each other more. So that's how I got into the role, and I'm really happy that, you know, Bean reached out to all of us, and felt that we have something to give back. Because initially we were like, our lives are boring. Why would anybody want to listen to our lives? But what I've forgotten, what Bean reminded me, is that everybody, you know, we live our lives day to day,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't live our lives. So it's
Yeah.
still interesting for people that don't live it to see what we do on a day-to-day basis. So for that reason, um, you know, I think it was good that, you know, we were able to do this. And in terms of Nick is my husband, and you know, he is very very supportive. The poor
Mhm.
guy is kind of shy too, right? So when we said we'd
Yeah.
have cameras following around, we'd like, he's like, "Oh my God, they're gonna follow us around. What are we gonna do?" So, and I just, you know, I kind of said to Nick, I said, "Nick, we gotta do this, you know, because you know, this is a big contribution to society and the uplifting of people with disabilities and creating more awareness." And Nick really understood that. So he's been very supportive, and he said anything he could do to support this cause. And so yeah, so Nick is going out of his comfort zone to do this show
Yeah.
with me, to make sure that we can create awareness like this. and I really
Aw.
appreciate him for that. He's been a
That's,
gem.
yeah. He seems like such a gem. And I
No,
have
no,
to say
he's been a
too,
really good gem.
I think his brother that was in one of the episodes, he's like, and his mom too, but his brother, Tom, is that his name?
Tom, yeah.
What a nice guy. Like I saw
he's
him
a,
on-
he's a,
he just looks like the
Tom is
nicest guy.
amazing. Like he goes in, even when we go to visit his Nick's parents, like his mom's house, Tom will make sure he helps me out of the car, and he's like
Oh,
so attentive, and
yeah.
he's very loving. Tom is very,
Yes,
very
he seemed
loving.
very loving.
He
He
seems
has
like
nothing but love to give to people, and I'm
Yeah.
very lucky to have him as my brother-in-law. I have I have two other brother-in-laws. So there's Nick has three brothers.
Okay.
So I have
Oh God, his
sister-in-laws
poor
and
mother.
brother-in-laws. Sorry?
His poor mother. But she
I
seems
know
so
she had four boys, and I keep
Poor
telling
boy.
Nick, I said, poor, I feel bad for his mom because she had four rambunctious boys,
Yeah.
So
And now 5.
and now she got to deal with me, but I'm more of
Imagine.
her confidant. She tells me stuff all
Yeah.
the time, so that's kind of cool. I'm the the chill one. I like to
Yeah.
believe, right? So
I'm very happy that you fit in with Nick because I was able to watch the episode and yeah, as Leah says, Tom is a phenomenal
I
person.
just loved him.
And
Yeah.
I'm
and
very lucky. I have very good brother-in-laws and
yeah,
very good sister-in-laws, and by association, nieces and nephews. And I've always loved
Mm.
big families, so I'm very fortunate that way.
yeah, because you were an only child, right, Aleem?
I was,
Yeah,
and
you were an only child, and
I
or
was
you are an only child, yes.
yeah, I'm an only child, and my mom was a single parent. My dad had left when I was 12, and since then my mom was a single parent, and I was raised by my mother primarily, and then my grandparents
Yeah.
and my aunts and uncles and things like that. A lot of support from them. But
Yeah.
we had a very small family after my dad left in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really value big family and family life, and so
Yeah.
having that association with Nick's family makes me feel really good. I'm very lucky.
Well, I'm
So
very lucky you found that big family
yeah.
that you love to have, and
Well,
I
there's
mean,
not hundreds of them like we like in
no,
our family,
but
but big enough
but-
to have a nice Christmas meal at our day,
Yeah.
and things like that. I do have a grandma here that I visit regularly, and I'm very lucky. My mom passed away in 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now it's just me and my grandmother in Edmonton, and I have
Yeah.
my aunt and uncle from my dad's side and my cousin that I visit, but most of my family is spread out in Canada,
Mhm.
and I have a family in the UK and London. So
Oh, nice.
and you had the opportunity to go to UK, I think, as well, and
I did
visit
a
those.
couple of times. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very nice.
Oh.
They're very supportive as well. So
Oh, that's good. Do
Yeah.
you and Nick want to have a family yourselves?
Nick and I have talked about it. Nick right now at the moment doesn't feel like we should have kids at the very moment because it's a big undertaking, and
Very big.
and we don't know, and Nick jokes around. He says, "Oh, we can barely take care of ourselves. How are we
I
going
know,
to take care of
right?
a little human, right?"
Yeah.
So, I'm more of the, "No, we need to take care of a kid. It'd be awesome. What
Yeah.
are we going to do?" So definitely it's not something that we're going to do immediately, but it's not
Yeah.
off the table as well. We're still
Oh,
kind
that's
of
nice.
seeing where we go with our life since we just got married. I think we should give our marriage some time to
Yeah.
develop and grow, and then see kind of where we want to be, and then go from there. So
That's
yeah,
why nieces and
definitely an
nephews are
option.
so awesome.
Yeah, definitely an
Nieces and
option.
nephews are great for that because you
But-
kind of get, it's fun. It's fun to have nieces.
No,
and
it
nephews.
absolutely is, and personally, I am hoping that we can, eventually have a family. So
Yeah.
that's what my plan is, hopefully going forward, and we'll see how that goes and how it pans out.
And how long have you been married, Aleem? With
That was a trick question at the premiere as well. I totally had forgotten, but we got married in
Right.
April 2022 last year. I keep
Last year.
forgetting. 9 months ago. We're
Yeah.
still newlyweds.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
newlyweds.
We're
That's
still newlyweds, yeah. And we'd known each other for about 5 years now, since 2017.
oh
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah. So we've been together since then.
That's nice. That's very nice, Aleem. I think uh when you talk about your personal life, and I'm grateful that you're just open about it, and how you have talked about Nick and about this show. What's this? Because I want to talk a little bit about more about the show. I don't want to go into details because I want people to watch it. I want people to follow it.
Yeah,
I want
you
people
better watch it,
to
guys.
Yep.
It's a
to
good show.
see it. But
It is.
I
Yeah.
want to know, because this show is called Push, as Leah says. She has
Yeah.
it on the background of her office, the poster, and then there's a second poster here that I wanted to steal, but I just left
That's
it there.
awesome.
And it's a great show, but I want to know what this show has left to you other than this Wheelie guys, which is they sound fantastic, and I was able to meet. Well, I know Bean myself personally, and me and
Beans
Leah know
everywhere.
Bean personally as well, and she's fantastic. But
It was everyone.
but I want to know, what does this show left to you other than showing people, because you talked about you wanted to talk to people about more about your day life and about how persons with disabilities go through this day life. But what does this show left you in your life that you want people to know about it?
Well, the show, I want people to know about disabilities. I want people to talk about disabilities. And I think, Carlos, because you have a disability, you're probably feeling the same way. We want to be educating people about disabilities as well. And we want to quote unquote normalize it. Because a lot of people still are very hush hush about the topic. They're like, oh, what if we offend you? Oh, what if we say the wrong thing? And then because of that fear, a lot of things don't get discussed, don't get talked about, that need the talking about. And that's why personally I'm not very focused, and I've always told you this, Carlos, I'm not very worried about how people ask me the question, what they will say incorrectly or correctly. I just want people to ask, because I think that's the biggest thing. And many people have a lot of knowledge about disabilities, but there's still that portion of population that doesn't know anything about disabilities.
Yes.
Right? And so I'm hoping that the show gives that opportunity for people to say, hey, did you see that show Push? Wasn't that weird how Aleem spilled all the soup all over himself? Or did you not see how so and so did what on the show? And to have that conversation,
Yeah.
and to be okay about it, because you're in your own comfort of your own home. The whole nation knows about it now. So even if you did bring it up, people should know it, to say, oh yeah, I kind of heard that, and I want to talk about this and this, and to bring disabilities to the forefront, and to know that there is varying disabilities of all types. It's just because you see Carlos on crutches and you see Aleem on crutches doesn't mean that Aleem can jump through hoops like Carlos can. We both have our own abilities, and I think the misconception is that all disabilities go through the same thing. All disabilities have the same abilities. So if Aleem can open that door, why can't Carlos open that door? Oh, if Carlos can do this, why can't Aleem do this? And so people should realize that just like everybody else, people with disabilities have different abilities, varying abilities, and each person is different. So just because I'm CP, or I have CP, sorry, not I am, I have CP, doesn't mean that because Carlos has CP, Aleem and Carlos are identical to what they can do in their ability, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping that the show can bring.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because I think that the show will open up the eyes to so many people of what we go through, and I say we because I'm also a person who is living with a disability myself, that we go through on a day life. But I wanna talk a little bit about one question before Leah has more questions probably. I know
Good,
Leah's
sure.
probably eager and be like, Hello. You know,
Hello.
no, I,
No, it's your guys' platform, really.
um, I just wanted to know. There's a lot of time that we need to have patience with a person with a disability, and I believe myself that this world does not have as much patience with individuals like myself. And from what I was able to see in your episode on Push, Nick, well, I don't want to describe the whole episode for people who haven't seen it, but there's a part where Nick shows a lot of patience in regarding with being with you, and patience in a way that is there for he's there for you to move the way you move and to do the things you do, and so on and so forth. So what do you think about people who don't have as much patience, and how would you describe patience to people that they might not know what patience is? They should know, but they might not know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess there's a few things that has brought up for me that this question. You are right. Nick has been patient in a lot of ways, and has slowed down for me in many different ways as well in terms of the physical stuff. Even when we go out somewhere, it may take longer to walk or with my crutches or whatever, and Nick will kind of wait and wait for me to catch up. And Nick and I joke around about that. And Nick will say to me, it's a good thing that you're in my life. Because of you, I've been forced to slow down and,
Yeah.
and enjoy the process. Because
Aw.
before I'd met you, I'd always be running
Yeah.
and I'd miss the small things. So, Nick being patient with me has also allowed him to enjoy what he would have missed if I hadn't been there. So we
Yes.
both give to each other. Just like a person with a disability also gives back. It's not always a one-way street. Um, and Nick will also tell you, like, Nick gives me a lot, in terms of
Yeah.
a spouse should. And because I have a physical disability, yes, Nick does help me in things I do need help with, but he will also let you know that I help him in many ways
Mm-hmm.
as well. And there's a lot of misconception there that, oh, because I'm disabled, Nick probably does a lot more than Aleem does, right? And what I would like to say is that's not true. We both equally contribute to each other. So we
Right.
will help each other in different ways. So I'll be more of the, the idea person, the organizing of the, events, things like that. He'll be more of the, help me with the chair, do this, do that. So we help each other very equally. So
Sure.
that's very important. Um, in terms of patience, I think you're right, Carlos, because a lot of people have not been patient. Like there used to be patient, but now today's society is like go, 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 and we got to get this done. We got to do 10 different things at once. And I wouldn't say patience, but there needs to be a little bit of understanding, that
Mm-hmm.
if you take some time to do certain things, give that person the time to do them, because uh, we as people with disabilities, yes, we may take a little bit longer to do them, but we do them really well when we do them, and we think things through. We just don't like Carlos. When you go somewhere, you really think about how you're gonna get there, what bus you're gonna take, what you're gonna do, how you're gonna get there. You really have to do step by step thinking that an average person will think about, but would not have to have the details. So, because of that, we've been able to program ourselves in our minds so that when we are ever faced with challenges or problems or obstacles, we immediately run to, okay, this is an issue. How do we overcome it?
How do we resolve the situation?
And that's because we have been patient and we've had to, the way we live our lives have to be very methodical in the way we do things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the luxury to just ram things through and say,
No.
oh, okay, it's done and we're good.
Yep.
We've always had to be this way. Ever since I've been little, I've had to be that way. So yeah, patience is very, very important. And I think nowadays people uh don't have as much of it. But you know what? It is there, but it is up to us to let people know, hey, we need this time. But because you're giving us this time, this is the product you're going to get. At the end of the day, we are going to be better at our game, and we're going to be giving you more support if you give us that initial support, right?
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Thank you so much, Aleem.
Yeah,
Thank you
no
very, very
worries.
much. Leah, do you have anything that you want to mention? That you want to
Well,
say?
Yeah, I think we should talk about this whole life without limits thing, because that's, our tagline, and we
I
enjoy.
love it, by the way.
Thank you. We're learning a lot about life without limits and how it means something different for everybody. So in your opinion, what does life without limits mean to you? And do you feel like you're living a life without limits?
Life without limits to me. That's a good question. It basically means where I think somebody had said, I don't know who had said it, or I heard it somewhere, is life without limits means having not to plan for things, having having the ability to do anything and everything that we want to do in our lives and do it freely, right? But we should not discount limits as well,
Right.
because limits are going to be there in life, and limits is what causes us to challenge and think outside the box and to think bigger, think better. Because if we didn't have limitations, we wouldn't be thinking outside the box. We would not be forced to create different opportunities. So limits have its place, but at the same time, we want to be able to overcome our limitations and not be hindered by them so that we can live our life to the fullest.
Yeah. I
Right?
fully agree. Yeah, I do. I totally agree. And plus, a lot of the limits that you might have aren't always because of yourself. It's outside things that are giving you those limits.
Well, absolutely. And if we had a limitless world, life would be boring. We'd get whatever we want, get wherever we want to go, no problem, no issue, no appreciation. Limits is what makes us kind of appreciate what we do have. But it also should not be to the point where limits don't let us live our lives. Everything in good moderation is a good thing. So that's what I would say. That's how I would want to live my life, is to the best of my ability, to the max as possible, but also have the ability to think outside the box and try to challenge the limitations I have. And I'm still trying to do that on an ongoing basis. And that's how I'd see it,
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
As Leah said, that's a fantastic and phenomenal response to and a way to live your life without limits, and that's just fantastic. Aleem, thank you so much for showing up today and for being
No
here today,
worries.
for accepting our invitation.
Yes.
For there's many more topics I want to touch on. Maybe we'll have to do a series on Aleem,
Right.
so
Oh
that
my
we can
goodness.
there's a lot more topics that I would love to touch on, but
Absolutely.
what I do want to see is if we can. Leah will be putting in the description the push link for the people to see at the CBC. I think it's
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. It's at every Friday, or which day it
I
is?
want to test you, Carlos. What is it?
I think it's every Monday, isn't it?
No.
No, it's
No,
every
no. No, it's every Friday at 8:30.
every Friday
Yeah.
at 8:30.
Friday at
Yeah.
8:30.
On
And I also have to
CBC.
say too, I love with CBC right now how they had the launch of your show, and then the other show, You're My Hero, which we had Sean Togood on our show at the beginning of this season, and he
Yeah.
has cerebral palsy, and he really shows that awkwardness and how it can be when people are trying, maybe too hard to make sure they're not offending you. And it just,
Yeah.
I just love how right now I feel like we have things in the spotlight, disabilities in the spotlight. And wow, thank you, CBC.
The only thing I would want to leave people with is, like, whenever you don't know something, don't be afraid. Just ask the question.
Yeah.
And we don't assume stuff. Just ask
That's
it.
right.
Just
Just ask it.
And
Yeah.
that's the only way you'll learn. Don't worry about the right and the wrong and what if that, and don't worry about that. Otherwise people will hold up and they won't ask and they won't know. So just feel free to just ask the question. And that's my one advice that I'd give anyone that's watching this.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
I
much,
always
Aleem.
I tell my daughter that too, like, you know, when it comes to, you know, the topic of people's pronouns and respecting who they are, you know, if you make a mistake, that's okay. It's what you going forward, you know, so like, it's okay to make the mistake, but once you learn, then you have to, you know, you don't want to
Yeah,
make
and show the
mistakes
genuine
again.
interest,
Yeah,
and you know, and that's the most important thing. So
that's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Aleem, for that great message. Thank you for leaving such a powerful message to people,
no
for
worries.
showing
Yeah.
your stories on Push. If people haven't not seen Push, watch Push Fridays nights. If you don't watch it live, put a PVR recording and record it.
Or
Leave
watch
it
it
on
on CBC
Gem.
Gem
or watch it
Yeah.
on CBC Gem.
and the website.
And the website, anywhere you can watch it. This show is actually really good show. If the more people watch it, maybe they will have a second season, which it would be great for this
Fingers crossed.
for all the fingers crossed for all this really wonderful people. And shout out to them too. Shout out to the rest of the cast,
Yeah.
and to CBC, as well as Leah said, for putting up such a great show and putting the people with disabilities on the spotlight, or living with a disability on the spotlight, because as Aleem says, we need to create more awareness about disabilities and talk about disabilities around
And-
this world. Wow.
And I guess, Carlos, one thing I should add is it's a docu-series, so it's not scripted at all.
Yeah.
That's right.
What you
Yeah,
see
you're
is
right.
what is our real lives.
Yeah.
At the very least, we'll be encouraged to maybe elaborate on certain things. Like we will talk about certain things, and they'll say, "Oh, can you elaborate on that?" Or,
Exactly.
you know, what would you like to showcase today? But everything that we have showcased is our lives.
It's your life.
It's not scripted in any way. So
So for those people that believe that it could be scripted, it's not. It's actually for real.
Right.
So it's not. It's not that they're hiding anything. They're showing the way they are. If
That's
they're
right.
showing
yeah,
vulnerability,
the only
it's
thing
fine.
they'll say, for example, is like, you know, maybe elaborate on this situation a bit more. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a good question. Maybe talk a little bit about it. So
Yeah.
they give us some ideas that way.
Yeah.
But whatever you say, or you know, they'll say, oh, you know, what do you do on a regular basis? Oh, do you take the bus? Can
Yeah.
we do a little story on the bus and how you get to and from places?
Yeah.
And then they'll just kind of follow us around that way. But what you see is, you know, basically very, very real, and it's not scripted. So just for
Well-
those people that don't know.
Perfect. That's awesome. Continue to watch it, people. If you're watching it, continue to watch it. And Aleem, is there like a place that people can reach out to you? So, and if they have any questions or you feel comfortable with that, like people.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on Instagram right
Okay,
now. It's
perfect.
called the Aleem Jaffer effect.
Yeah, Aleem Jaffer
Nice.
effect.
Yeah.
I like that.
So if you have any questions that way, you can please reach out that way. And yeah, that should be good.
That's great. So if you have any questions for Aleem, go to the Aleem Jaffer effect in Instagram. Make sure you give him good questions, no creepy questions, please. If
Yeah.
you're listening to good questions and good feedback. And thank you so much, Aleem, for everything. Thank you, Leah, for being such supported and finding this wonderful guy,
Oh.
man, and
course.
inviting him
Yeah.
here, and to our
I
platform.
just am sorry I missed out on all of the fun you guys had. I will have to, yeah,
Yeah.
I
We'll
mean,
have to catch up on
I would have
that.
been right in there with you. You know that Carlos and I do tend to,
Oh yeah, we
you know,
Leah and I have
Oh,
a similar kind of weird sense of humor, and that's why we kind of connect with each other. So,
Yeah.
but same with Aleem here. We both have a very
Yeah.
very
I can
funny
tell,
sense
I
of
love
humor.
it.
So it's very interesting. But thank you, Aleem. Thank you, and it
Yes,
was
thank
great
you.
to see you.
No, absolutely.
Hopefully one of
Thanks
these
for
days.
having me.
No problem. Hopefully one of these days I get to meet Nick, because I haven't had a chance to meet Nick, and I
Absolutely.
heard
Yeah.
wonderful things about him. And for those of you who are listening, who are watching today, thank you so much for being such a loyal, supportive
Yeah.
followers and audience. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Mom.
Thank you, Faye. Thank you, Faye, actually,
Thanks,
for
Mom, for listening all the
thanks,
time.
Leah, Mom, for listening. Thank you, everyone who has been so loyal. People from Mexico too. People from all over the world that are
Hey, are
listening
you
to
guys
this
giving
podcast.
shout outs? Can I give a shout out?
Do a shout out,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can do a shout
Hey,
out.
I'd like to give a shout out to my grandma. She's probably not
Aw.
listening to the podcast because she doesn't know how to use a computer, but I'll probably show this podcast to her later. So shout out to my grandma. I don't want to forget her because you know she means a lot to me, and I just want to say I love her very much. And my grandfather who passed away and my mom who has passed away, they've meant a
Right.
lot to me, and they've raised me quite well, and they've helped me to be the man I've become.
Mhm.
And also just to my aunts and my uncles and my cousins. So thank you for all and all my family and friends, obviously. But yeah, just a quick shout out because
Yeah.
I just wanted to give her a quick shout out.
Aw,
No,
thanks,
that's perfect.
Grandma.
Thanks for everyone, and shout out to Aleem's family. It's a great family, and
Family's important to me.
family is
Sorry.
important
Good, absolutely.
to the Jaffer effect and Mr. Jaffer. Absolutely, they're fantastic people. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aleem, again. Thank you to our audience.
Mhm.
And please don't forget to live your life without limits. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.